BP seemingly is Gucci's man, and MM we're going to assume is the cameraman. Okay? Now, supposedly, there's a fourth person, which is the bodyguard. But that person, see? No, they're right. At approximately 1 p.m., victims flew into Dallas alongside RD, so Gucci's head of security, who's going to be referred to as CW, which is am I tripping? Hold on. Right. Okay. The victims, at 1 p.m., the victims flew into Dallas alongside the security. So this is the undercover cop, supposedly. The head of security is going to be called CW. So they're actually not listed as the floor, or maybe, what is CW? Is it confidential witness, or we'll figure it out. And another security officer, known as TD. So there was, Gucci had 4 people with him. Cameraman, his man, what's the names? BP, cameraman MM, his man's BP, and 2 security guards. The security guard who's undercover cop is known as CW. All right, for a scheduled business meeting between RD and the suspect, Williams Jr. He's a hip-hop artist known as Pooh Shiesty and has been signed to the recording contract for Roderick Davis's music label 1017 since approximately 2021. They were scheduled to meet because Pooh Shiesty was upset, as we thought, was upset with the terms of his contract and wished to be released from his contractual obligations. Pooh Shiesty had asked Roderick to come to Dallas so they could meet about business. At 1:45, the police officer and his partner and the victims, including Gucci, arrived at a scheduled meet location, a music recording studio within a larger office building. When the cop and the other security and victims entered the building, they realized it was a recording studio who was owned by individuals that we'll just call this individual JN. It was closed. While they wait for the studio to open, and the five went to a liquor store and purchased liquors and plastic red cups before returning to the studio. Oh, W Gucci. Yeah, man, go get these guys some liquor. Williams' junior father, Williams Sr., then called JN multiple times on the day of the meeting. At approximately 2:53, JN answered the phone and learned that Williams Sr. was attempting to book a recording studio that afternoon for Williams Jr. and RD to record music. So at approximately 2:53, he had answered the phone and learned that they were trying to book a recording studio that Pooh Shiesty and Gucci would record. At 3:15, at 3:15, they opened the studio for Gucci, cameraman, for BP, and for the 2 security. Investigators later collected and reviewed surveillance video captured at another business located in the same office building as on the same floor in the recording studio, which shows that the father was outside of the building. Okay. So it looked like the father is the one who called the building owner to book the session. Looked like this guy didn't even know that they were going to do it, right? So the guy who owned the studio didn't even know they were coming there. And after Gucci gets there, he realizes it's locked. They go get some liquor. The father pops up, and the father's like, "Oh shit, let me call the guy. We're going to book the studio." They book the studio. It's opened up. Approximately 3:27, Williams Sr. appeared to be speaking with someone on a cell phone before entering the building around 3:28. Okay, so I guess this is it. Approximately 3:39, an employee of the studio arrived to assist with production. I guess like some engineer. When the employee arrived, Williams Jr. and Williams Sr. were standing at the back door of the office building, engaged in what could be seen as an argument over the phone. Approximately 3:43, Williams Jr. and Sr. Wright, which is Big 30, Johnson, all of these guys entered from the east side of the office. The suspects walked through the lobby area before going into the studio. One individual with a dreadlock style hair, later identified as Gibson, can be seen on video exiting the building and shortly thereafter returning with a bag slung over his shoulder. So somebody came with a bag. All right, so right here. Okay. The 9 individuals entered the studio's control room where the victims were watching a football game. So it looked like Gucci and them, they're now in the studio, they're waiting, they got liquor there, They're watching a football game. They're waiting for Shiesty to show up. Look like the father shows up. But then Shiesty gets on the scene, and him and his pops, I guess maybe they're talking to Gucci on the phone, or I don't know who they're talking to, but according to the fans, he's heated. And then afterwards, they seem to be like walking in, but one guy goes and he gets like something over his shoulder. They're watching. TW was positioned in the studio lobby while TD was playing in the victim in the live. So, undercover cop in the lobby. The victim below in photographs of the studio lobby left in the control room, the studio recording room. Don't take it from the Dallas Police Department body cam. So they did call Dallas Police. And crime scene photos captured on the night of the event. So this is how the studio looks. The victims overheard Shiesty talking on his cell phone, potentially with a probation or parole officer, stating that his caseworker had given him permission to be out for rec time. So clearly he was, still going back and forth with, him being out for probation, and he's like, yo, nigga, I'm good. I'm supposed to be able to, I'm going to the studio right now, right? Cool. From what the victim could hear, he was informed that that was not the case, and he needed to return immediately. He agreed that he was going to return immediately, and he was wearing an ankle monitor. It led the victims to believe that he was on house arrest. RD, who's RD? Oh, that's Gucci. Gucci told Shiesty they could reschedule their session, but Shiesty requested to speak to Gucci privately in the attached recording room. Gucci agreed and entered the room with Shiesty's father, and Vic 30. Meanwhile, the cameraman and the security, Meanwhile, the cameraman, and Gucci's homeboy, BP, remained in the control room, okay? So it looked like, remain in the control, okay, so you got the control room and the recording room. That's the article in the recording room, so you're going to have the here in the control room. Big 30, Gucci, Shiesty's dad, walked Gucci into the booth. Into the booth with the fat. I remember the Traveler Raw thing. That's the funny thing. But anyway, so they walked Gucci, three of them, they walked Gucci into the booth to have a private conversation while Gucci's cameraman and his homeboys in the other room. And they're in the other room with 6 other individuals. Okay? So everybody's in control. And they continue to watch football. BP offered to share the liquor they purchased, and at least 2 accepted grabbing red cups and making a drink. Inside the control room, Shiesty produced a purported contract termination or release paperwork from a bag and told him to sign. Like, yo, bro, come on, enough. You sign this shit. When Gucci refused, Shiesty became agitated. They started arguing, and then the cameraman and DP could see inside that, it looked like they were in a heated conversation or discussing business. But as the cameraman saw the conversation intensify, he texted the cop, who was still in the lobby. So it's the cameraman who texts the cop like, yo, they kind of going crazy in there, bro. Like, come in. As the argument inside the recording room ensued, Shiesty instructed right. So he instructed, yo, this is like literally FBO. Yo, 30 pass me my drink. Literally down to the T. Yo, get me my bag. Yo, the drink is in the bag. Come on. Right complied, leaving the room to go return with a bag. Then he pulled what appeared to be a black AK-style pistol from the bag and pointed at RD. Damn. So Shiesty ups it on Gucci like, I'm popping, nigga. I'm getting released. Demanded that he released. Gucci complied, signed the paperwork for Williams Jr. while Williams Sr. and 30 stood by. Gucci was not allowed to leave the recording room while he was held at gunpoint by Williams Jr. Right? Pulled out his cell phone. Oh my God. Hernandez Guevara was right. He pulled out his cell phone to record him signing the paperwork while being forced to say he released Shiesty from their contract. After the release was signed, Shiesty took Gucci's wedding ring, watch. Yo, Hernandez Guevara was right, bro. earring. So they unscrew that bitch. Like, come on, let's unscrew your earring, gang. And cash. After Gucci signed the contractual release paperwork, Shiesty provided the paperwork to Senior and asked if it was good. Senior says the paperwork needs to be dated, so then they forced him to add a date next to the signature. As Gucci, Shiesty, and Shiesty's pops and 30 exited the courtroom, the remaining subjects, Waters, Rogers, Johnson, Glover, McDaniel, and Gibson, produced handguns or whatever and began demanding property from BP and MM. Now, I gotta be honest with you. L Security, you already got texted. So, they text you that Gucci's in the booth arguing with Shiesty. And he's outnumbered, 1v4, and you're the undercover cop and you don't walk in there and like, yo, what's going on? Like, you're security? L Security. L Security, nigga. I don't care if this nigga's an undercover cop. Or undercover off-duty. So now, when Gucci comes out of the booth, his homeboy and his cameraman is getting robbed because everybody does up. So it looked like this was a plan. As soon as 30 comes back with a bag, get the drink, it looked like the other niggas just backed out on them two, like, yo, what's up? Yo, y'all niggas gotta give it up too. Fuck. Right? Okay. They produced handguns and began demanding property from BP and MF. BP was pushed on a couch in the control room while an individual named as this, a part of Shiesty's crew, later identified as Roger, searched his pockets and stole his wallet, stole his chain, and a necklace bearing the moniker 1017 was stolen from his neck by another subject he known as Glizzy 375. During the robbery, McDaniels repeatedly threatened to shoot BP for movement. But Shiesty told him, don't shoot him. Don't shoot him. BP further identified an individual. Oh, BP knew his identification. Talk the white shit. I fuck with it. Identified an individual he knew as Baby Slime 375, later identified as Johnson, as being involved in the kidnapping and robbery. And that during the control room robbery, Johnson possessed a firearm and held BP and others at gunpoint. Both MM and BP identified the individual they know as KD. Later identified as Waters. Yo, I ain't gonna lie, man. Yo, Shiesty really living his lyrics, bro. Yo, he got a line that says KD patient. Might not catch him next day, might catch him. Yo, nah. What do you think KD like? Kevin Durant? Nah, nigga. Yo, look, you should have sicked a C-girl on the op. She left the air tag in the glove box. Katie's patient. He might spank him next year tomorrow. Holy. Yo, Katie's patient. He might spank him next year or tomorrow. God damn. I bet. So Katie's here. He was involved in a kidnapping and robbery. Possessing a firearm and holding a gunpoint. MM, that's the cameraman, who was choked from behind,